Hello friends, in today's topic we're going to talk about Amazon SQS. Amazon SQS is a reliable, scalable and fully managed message queuing service. So in simple words, it is a queuing service. You might have worked in other queue services like Kafka or ActiveMQ. So this is one of the offering by Amazon. So there are two kinds of queues which SQS support. One is a standard queue, which is a default queue, and the second one is FIFO. FIFO stands for first in, first out. So, as the name suggests, when the messages are poured into this queue, it maintains certain order. And the third thing is that the retention period. So, whenever a message is pushed in these queues, these messages are automatically deleted after a certain days. These days are called as retention period. Now by default, the retention period configured is 4 days, but these can be changed when you're creating a queue. So in which use case is SQS used popularly? These are popularly used in case of microservices. Let us see how. Let us say you have a microservice 1 and then you have another component of a microservice, and these two components are connected to each other. There is a communication between these two components via HTTP. So there's a HTTP protocol through which these two components communicate the messages through each other. Now let's imagine for some reason the second component goes down. When second component goes down, then all the messages which the component A is sending to component B will not be received by component B. So there is a breakdown in service and service A will no longer be able to communicate to service B. So this results in a breakdown of an entire system. So how could we handle this? Now this could be handled using a queuing service. So we have a queuing service. This could be SQS or Kafka or ActiveMQ. Now instead of component A directly calling component B via HTTP, they call it via this queue. So they put the message into this queue and component B consumes the message from this queue and processes it. Now let us imagine, how does this help? Let us say that the component A is pushing a message called hello and the component B has to consume it. But for some reason if component B is down, then the messages will not be lost. They will still be persisted in the queue. Say after 10 minutes or 15 minutes when the component B comes up, it will read these messages from the queue and start processing it in the same order. So in this case, the messages are not lost. It is just delayed for a period of time. And the messages which is stored in the queue can be configured how long you want these messages to be stored. Since by default the retention period is 4 days, even if the component B comes up after 2 days or 3 days, it could still process these messages. But it is very unlikely in a microservice architecture a component could be down for more than 24 hours. Now let us see in detail about these queues. As we have discussed, there are two kinds of queues in SQS. One is the standard queue, another one is FIFO. Standard queue is the default queue, but if you want to configure your queue as a FIFO, you can also do that. Now what is the basic difference and when to use what? Standard queue, the order of messages is not guaranteed. Say for example, you're pushing a stream of messages in this SQS queue. The consumer consumes the queue in a different order. There is no guarantee the message will be received in the same order in which the messages are pushed. Whereas in FIFO, the order is strictly preserved. So if you push one and message, uh, suppose you push the message A and then you push B, in FIFO the message A will be received first, followed by which the message B will be received. but in case of standard queue, this order is not guaranteed. The second important difference is in standard queue, there is a high throughput. There is no limit on the number of transactions. So standard queue supports unlimited number of transactions per second. Whereas if you look at the FIFO, FIFO supports only 3000 messages per second. The third major difference is the guarantee of the message. So standard queue guarantees that the message will be delivered at least once. So you have to note down this word at least once, which means that when you push a message in a standard queue, it will be delivered once, but there might also be a case where they deliver the same message twice or more than once. Whereas in FIFO queue, this is not the case. FIFO queue it delivers only once and it does not allow duplicates. We will see in detail how FIFO queue eliminates duplicates. But for now, it is good for you to understand that FIFO queue does not allow duplicate messages to be sent. Standard queue, the duplicate message is a very rare scenario, but we will see in detail how the duplicate messages could be sent in a standard queue. Now, if you want to use a standard queue, you can create that in any region in AWS, whereas in FIFO, it has been supported only in certain limited regions. This is the architecture as shown by the AWS official documentation. Here on the left hand side, you can see the distributed system components. Now these component 1, 2 and 3 are nothing but different services in a microservice architecture. And on your right hand side, what you're seeing is an SQS. Now since we said SQS is a highly reliable service and it is highly scalable, so the reason how messages are being reliable is they are stored in different databases within SQS. Now for example, if I send a message S to SQS, it is stored in at least replicated in 3 different databases. So as you can see in this image, the message A is saved in at least 3 to 4 different databases. So even if one database is down, the message will still be there safe and the consumer can consume these messages. So this is how the distributed architecture is maintained in SQS. Let us now talk about the message lifecycle in SQS. Let's imagine the component 1, or we can also call it as a producer, is sending a message to SQS. Let us imagine the message is A. As we discussed, the SQS stores the message in different database. You can see the message A is stored in 4 different areas. Now there is something called visibility timeout check. We will see that in detail, but you can just imagine the visibility timeout check is the time within which the consumer has to process the message. Now component 2 is the consumer who is listening to these cues and that starts receiving the message A from the queue. Now the moment component 2 receives the message from the queue, the timer starts ticking. Now in this example, the visibility timeout clock is set to 40 seconds. So component 2 has to process this message within 40 seconds and then it deletes this message from the queue. For some reason, if component 2 is not able to process this message within the stipulated visibility timeout, then what happens is that the other components which are also listening to the queue will start processing the same message. So what exactly is SQS visibility timeout? By definition, it is a period of time that prevents other consumers from processing that message. Now let us imagine a use case where the producer pushes the message in SQS, and the SQS visibility timeout is set as 20 seconds. And there are three consumers who are listening to this queue continuously and waiting for messages. Now once the message A is pushed into the queue, let's assume the consumer 1 who's here picks up the message from the queue. The moment he picks the message, the visibility timeout clock starts and he has to process the message within 20 seconds. But for some reason, the consumer A is not able to process the message within the visibility timeout period. But before that, we must also know the fact that once consumer A is processing, this message is completely hidden from the other two consumers. So at a time, once the consumer A picks the message, it kinds of gets the lock on that message, and that message remains invisible to the rest of the consumers. For how long does this message remain invisible? It remains invisible for 20 seconds, which is the visibility timeout being configured in the queue. Now, if the consumer 1 is unable to process the message within 20 seconds, now the message gets visible to the rest of the consumers. Say for example, in such a case, the consumer 2 picks up the message because the consumer 1 is unable to process within the visibility timeout period. Now in this case, if consumer 2 is able to process it within 20 seconds, then it will delete it from the queue to prevent this life cycle. But if this scenario continues and even the consumer 2 is not able to process within 20 seconds, it will again be visible to the rest of the consumers. Then the third consumer will pick up the message and start processing. If the consumer 3 is successful, then it will delete the message from the queue. But even if consumer 3 is unsuccessful, then the message will be dropped in the dead queue. Now what is this dead queue or dead letter queue? Dead letter queue helps in handling message failures as it isolates the failure messages so that we can determine the reason behind the failure. We will see this dead letter queue concept in a separate video, but for you to understand now, all the failure messages which could not be processed by any of the consumers is being pushed in a dead letter queue, which is used for analysis or to find out the reason why this message is why this message is not able to handle. So we will see a short demo on dead letter queue in a separate video. Now let us reiterate all the features that we just saw. SQS is highly reliable. We just saw that because the messages are stored in SQS in a different databases. So even if one database goes down, the message will still be delivered. Second is it holds message until you delete. Now still there's a retention period. If you don't delete by 4 days, it will automatically delete it. But the consumers, once it consumes, it gets deleted from the queue. Third is the fan out. When it is combined with SNS, you can send multiple copy of the messages to multiple queue parallelly. So we will see about this fan out concept in a different video when we look into the lab session. But you have to understand that SQS can be fanned out to multiple consumers at the same time using simple notification services. Fourth point is scalable. It automatically scales so that no matter how big your queue raises, it scales itself. And it is flexible because standard queue is used for high throughput, or if you don't want throughput and if you strictly want ordering as a requirement, then you can go for FIFO queue. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you like this presentation, please share it and hit the subscribe button. Let's see tomorrow in some other video. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much.